on Jess for Jessfor30, and it's going to be, it's as usual, we always have good guests. Great guy today. We are going to just start real quick with something a little different. Tori, if you could just get a picture of this here. This is Clark Lake Golf Course in the Irish Hills, and one of my best friends on the planet, class of '74 at St. Agatha, Mike McHugh, he passed away, and it's been a rough week. But I love Mike McHugh, and rest in peace, my brother. He's just a great human being, generous, kind, helped the vets. His son was a Marine. Michelle and I went to his wedding about a year ago under a tent, year and a half, and we're gonna miss him. It's been a brutal week regarding that. We don't get political here ever, but we're gonna have Congressman John James on the show June 29th. So hopefully everybody can take a look at that. That should be fun. Now, let's be a little more positive about things. And today we are excited to welcome a great friend of mine and judge with the Michigan Court of Appeals, the proud graduate of Bishop Borges High School, and Michigan State University. He is the Honorable Michael J. Riordan. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you very much, Ron. I'm honored to be here.
I've
seen many of your episodes. First of all, I'd like to extend my condolences on the loss of your friend. God love him and his family. It's tough. It's, especially somebody your age, my age. It's
you lose family and you lose friends. And the one thing about Mike McHugh, there'll be an overload of friends and family visiting for him next Friday, and be in Novi at the St. Mary's Convention Center, I believe it is. But you would have loved him, a good Catholic Irishman, Mike. So
you can't beat the Irish Catholics, Ron.
If not, they'll tell you a good story.
Absolutely.
So, Mike, let's go back to the beginning, okay? Tell us about your mom and dad.
Well, my mom and dad are natives of County Kerry, Ireland, and they both grew up on the Ring of Kerry. My father's from a town called Glen Bay, and my mother's from a town, from a little island, Rossmore Island. It sits in an estuary of the Atlantic Ocean called the Kenmare River or Kenmare Bay. I think the British named it a river, but it's really a bay. Mm-hmm. So right outside the village of Sneem.
Southwest Ireland?
Southwest Ireland, yeah.
We're in the north. We're at Port Rush, where Rory McIlroy's from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good golfers come from there. You're a good golfer,
No.
I understand.
No. Yeah, I'm a 29 handicap, okay?
Oh, you and I can hang.
Yeah.
So we were kind of opposite ends of the island. And, most families, my dad was towards the tail end of his family. There were a lot of kids, maybe as many as 16 births, I think. And his oldest sisters, not his oldest sister, but his oldest sister and his, I think, second or third oldest came out here in 1921, came to the U.S. My dad was born in 1920, so his family was dribs and drabs who were all going out here. And I think his father had sisters in Binghamton, New York, so that's where they ended up going, at the Endicott Johnson Shoe Factory. And when my father came in, he walked across we went to England first, like a lot of Irish guys. And
was that Rochester, Buffalo area?
No, further near Syracuse, I guess, further
east. Yeah. Michelle and I hang out in Rochester. I cover 5 states in Ontario, and we go to Buffalo, and there's something about Rochester we love. We stay at these old bed and breakfasts or these old boutique-type hotels. Rochester's a neat town.
It's a beautiful area, but Binghamton's kind of closer to the Pennsylvania border. And then he came in 46, but he was in England during the war because the Irish were neutral. Mm-hmm. And so they did piecework and, laborers, and basically ditch diggers. He had sisters over there and brothers-in-law.
The Irish are never neutral, Mike.
Well, I mean, they probably personally had sides, but and then my mother came over in 45, right after the war, and she had aunts and uncles in the United States. So she came into New York to the Bronx.
What town did you grow up in, Mike?
Detroit, west side of Detroit.
St. Eugene's, was it?
No, Our Lady Gate of Heaven.
Oh, yeah.
9555 St. Mary's.
My grandpa, Harry Madden, was buried out of there.
Was he really?
And my wife, Michelle, taught there.
You know, we talked about that. I met your wife. She was a few years after me. She was near the tail end of the school. So she taught there in the 80s, I think.
Might have been. She'd been at 10, I shouldn't say 10. We moved to Ohio, and she was at a couple Catholic schools there, 25 years there, and 10 years as a principal at a Muslim charter school in Ann Arbor.
Wow.
Central Academy, run by the Issa family.
Okay.
A prominent family.
Yeah, my daughter is a first grade teacher at St. William's. It's her first year teaching, and they have kind of a special ed program there, and so she's involved with that. She really enjoyed it. I was just over there last week.
Is she from Michigan State too, Mike?
She is, and she's from Duquesne. She went out to the Spirited Fathers, the Holy Ghost Fathers.
Oh.
And she rode out there. So it was her first. It's her first job, and she really loved it. Loved her students.
They usually do. We both certainly share many common experiences. Bishop Borges, St. Agatha over here. We have the hat. Huge supporters and love for the Irish community. We both traveled with our wives and kids to Ireland. Let's talk about those experiences, Mike.
Some of my best friends in life are from Bishop Borges. The guys that you know how it is, Ron. Guys you played sports with, guys you played football with, and I still hang. I keep in touch with a lot of them. So it was a wonderful experience. It was the largest Catholic high school at the time. And you couldn't get in if you weren't for one of the 5 feeder parishes. So the whole west side of Detroit, and you probably remember the teacher strike in Detroit in 75. I think it was the fall of 75 or 74. And so a lot of people were sending their kids from the public schools on the west side of Detroit into Borges. But it was phenomenal. I came from a grade school that had 35 students in the 8th grade class to a school that probably had 500 in the freshman class.
Wow,
and,
that's crazy.
You know, the experiences playing, football, basketball, hanging
baseball.
Around with track. I did a little more track. I went to the baseball meeting, Ron, and they only had a JV and a varsity. And I remember looking around the room, and the coach said, well, we have, I think, 12 guys coming back, sophomores, so that leaves room for about 9 freshmen. I looked around the room, and I thought, I'm probably not one of the best 9. So I spent my time working down at Tiger Stadium in the springtime, mostly a seat wiper, and worked in the clubhouse, those things.
I certainly remember Bishop Borges, your school, Reese Dobrik, class of 74.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
He was the second best pitcher in Babe Ruth baseball behind Jim Murray from St. Mary's of Redford, a close friend of ours out here, a Howell guy, played for Jim Leland in Iowa. But Reese Dobrik, he was throwing 85, 90, and you bat against him with the Babe Ruth Baseball League. He could bring it.
I never met him, but I remember the name. He left. He graduated in 74 by the time I got there. I graduated from Gate of Heaven in 74. But I remember the Babe Ruth League. You had to be a good baseball player to play in that. In West 7, you had to be very good.
Yeah.
They didn't have all those leagues. They had Barney McCoskey and those kind of leagues, and O'Shea, the All-Stars, and Micmac. You could be anybody and play in those. But if you got invited to play Babe Ruth or you played West 7, you were a good ball player. So, Ryan, you must have been a very good ball player.
Well, I'm not going to say it, but I loved it. My dad taught me as a young man, and to your point, I played for Sky Florist, Mr. Coach Cronin. And you know who's on our team? Greg Hoole.
Oh yeah,
Greg Hoole beat
St. Mary's of Redford.
Beat Catholic Central in football. I hate to say it, we got Frank RCC, and I love Catholic Central. Greg Hoole ran for about 300 yards when St. Mary's of Redford beat CC like 40-0.
There was a Jerry Hoole and a Greg Hoole.
Greg was on our team. He was third base.
Okay.
And the other guy that after your heart, Michigan State linebacker and Green Bay Packer linebacker, friend of mine at the time. I haven't been in contact. Paul Rudzinski.
His brother Joe was a year behind me, but he was a good football player, and a guy from my class who went to Grand Valley with Kenny Maughan and Jeff Chadwick and all those guys. He was
Divine Child guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. But he was drafted, and I think they spent some time together with the Packers. I think Joe Rudzinski might have gone to the Packers.
Joe or Paul? Paul was there.
Paul was there. He played.
Yeah.
But I'd been to the Packer Hall of Fame. I spent some time in Milwaukee, and one of the things, of course, I wanted to do was go to Packer games. I went up to the Hall of Fame, and Paul Rudzinski's name's there in the Hall of Fame, and I think he still lives in Green Bay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's hard to get a hold of.
Well, he's probably in the Green Bay phone book, so.
There's no phone books anymore. My daughter worked for Yellow Book Google, and it became Haibu, and nobody uses a phone book.
Remember the white pages?
Yeah. So the second part of that three-part question was the Irish community. Yeah.
Well, I grew up in a family of, my dad, as I said, came here in 46. My mother came here in 45. They came in through the Bronx, and my dad worked there. As a ditch digger, worked for the gas company, and worked. And my mother came here to Detroit after being a domestic in New York City for rich families. She came here and was with the housekeeper for her uncle at St. Monica's, who actually started the St. Patrick's Day Parade, Father O'Sullivan, P.J. O'Sullivan. And we actually brought in the Irish ambassador one year, and it started around St. Monica's, the parade. But she worked there. So, and when my dad came here, they met at a Kerry football dance in New York. I think it was the Tuxedo Ballroom, which is kind of a famous place. But they came here, and he lived with another Irish family over at St. Bridget, where St. Bridget's were a very Irish area. And he got a job on the gas company. It was all Irish guys in the gas company back in. Now, I can't say all Irish, but a lot of Irish guys from the old country, a lot of Kerrymen working at the gas company because they like to work outside. They spent their whole lives outside. So
cops, firemen, and
exactly.
utilities.
Yeah, so that's they didn't have much of an education. Came over here, and so our social life revolved around the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick. That's where my parents we probably went more than anything else. I remember going to picnics out at Transylvania Park and different things like that, marching in the parade with the Irish 32 counties and Jim O'Neill. And I don't know, was this before our time, but they used to have the Irish dances as the Bonnybrook every Sunday night.
Bonnybrook and Telegraph there?
Exactly. Jim O'Neill and Pete Neri. And I'm trying to think the guy who was the baker. I met his son not too long ago. He had the shop up on Michigan Avenue. I'll think of his name in a second. But they had those dances. My dad was, was kind of like, he was the parking lot man. He was in charge of keeping order in the parking lot and whatnot. So.
Well, he probably had to watch out for Denny McLean because he was playing his organ at Bonnybrook back in the day.
I don't know if you come to the Irish 32 county dances, though.
I don't know. But the parade...
Jack Derrick is the name of the other guy that was part of the group. But my dad, I remember going there. We thought it was a big deal. My dad would go there in the car. We'd be in the car with him. No guns back in those days. He'd have a billy club and a pitchfork to keep order, and he never had any problems.
Is that right?
Yeah.
The good old days, for sure. Mike, what was your favorite memory or memories from your East Lansing, Michigan State days?
Ron, I spent a lot of time playing cards.
Yeah.
Lived in the dorms there and had great times in the dorms. And, I kind of went there as an afterthought. I was going to go to Grand Valley with my friends, and it ended up I was working at Mount Carmel over on the west side, and great job, and decided to go to state. And so it was a very, very hospitable place.
Did you meet your wife there?
No, I met her in law school.
I read an article about your son, Jeremiah. He was a long snapper at UD High School and then at the University of Buffalo. And there was a connection between your wife. Was she from Buffalo originally?
Yeah, she was from Buffalo. She grew up in, Orchard Park. She grew up on the south side, I think, for a time, and then they moved out to Orchard Park. She went to Mount Mercy, the Mercy Sisters school there, and Canisius College, the Jesuit school. And back in those days, Canisius doesn't have a law school, so a lot of people from Canisius would come down to the University of Detroit to go to law school. So that's how I met her in law school. There were a number of people there at the law school from Canisius, and so that's how she ended up here. And her father was a steward for the Racing Commission, so he spent a lot of time here, and her whole family eventually moved here to Michigan.
You have 4 adult children. How are they doing? Grandkids, all that, Mike?
Well, Ron, you've given me credit for one too many. I have three adult children. My oldest is Jeremiah. He played football at Buffalo, and he was a canine officer out at the University of Michigan. And so we have a Belgian Malinois living with us now. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those dogs, but they're absolutely magnificent. You should look them up on YouTube. They're something else. And then my oldest daughter is a graduate of the University of Toledo in both undergrad and MBA. And she works for the Department of the Navy. She was selected for a financial management training program for the Department of the Navy. And she deals with things where it makes $1 million seem like chump change, so she's dealing with those kind of things. So she lives in Washington, D.C. And then my youngest, as I mentioned, she's a Duquesne grad, and she just is completing her first year teaching at St. William's in Walled Lake.
We had my first cousin, he went to school at Thurston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and his name is Colonel Mike Pearson. He was sitting right where you are last year around Thanksgiving.
What year at Thurston, do you know?
He was there when Dino Sirius was there. He's a pitching coach for us. I'm going to say he would probably be about 74 or 75 right now.
Okay.
So
yeah, he's a little bit older than we are.
Class is 70, 69 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thurston was our neighbor. Borges was right down the road. That we used to have home football games there.
Did you?
Yeah, my first 2 years of high school.
Well, Michelle and I went to first of all, D.C. with him after we left here. He pretty much ran security at Arlington National Cemetery.
Wow.
He was really humble, great person, and ROTC and all that, Michigan State guy, his son's a U of M guy. But Michelle and I had such a great time. We went to some of the museums with them, spent a couple days with them there, and then we were able to spend our last 2 days over in Annapolis at the Naval Academy.
I have a niece that's a graduate of the Naval Academy.
Isn't that beautiful
it's a
out
beautiful
there?
place.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful country.
It's absolutely beautiful. And I was lucky enough to go to the commencement exercises back in 2009. And they are phenomenal. And I should have gone there for the whole induction week where they're inducted into as officers. It's phenomenal. It really makes you proud to be an American.
Yeah. All the military. We had a West Point. Frank Murphy was brought up earlier. We had Jaden Pyden in here 3 days before he went to West Point.
Well, that's a wonderful place. I've been there twice. In high school, I was contacted by West Point. Myself and a few other guys, and one of the guys from my class went there. But we drove out there as when the kids were young, and I'm trying to impress my kids with West Point. This is where you want to go. But I think we threatened them too much with military school. My son said, no way. He thought that's, we're following through on the military school. But he actually played out there against Army in Buffalo. Should have beat Army. And it was a phenomenal setting of a wonderful place. Go out and see Jaden Pyden play there, Ron. You will not regret it.
Well, what a gentleman. He was so serious, maybe the most serious. I'm not going to say he was a hard interview, but he's very direct in everything he did. Catholic Central, citizen, athlete, and scholar for the whole Catholic Central. And then I went out there, and really a great kid. Frank Murphy's son, he's playing college baseball right now. Those guys are really good buddies, and I thank Frank for helping us get Jaden on here.
We have a good mutual friend in Frank Murphy, I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. But I've never met Jaden, but I've seen him play football, and he's a darn good football player.
Yes.
And he's a hard-nosed kid. He went both ways, and he's a very good football player. And at West Point, you're given no quarters. You have to perform. And I don't know if you remember Jason Houle. He went to Gibber Richard, but his brother, I'm trying to think of his, Dave Houle was a fullback for Catholic Central when they won a state championship. I think it was one of Mac's it might have been his last state championship. But Jason played basketball out there and a few other guys, and we had a tailgate out there that day. And these guys, it's serious business, not only keeping up with academics and the military discipline, but playing sports on top of it.
Yeah, I can't imagine. We had Clint Copenhaver here '97 Michigan linebacker, played in the same defense with the guy who won the Heisman Trophy, Charles Woodson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a big thing. My daughter had asked me if I'd ask him, because they're friends. Clint lives here, and he coaches our grandson in football.
Oh,
Clint
okay.
Copenhagen. And he was the big linebacker, about 6'4", 6'5". When they get down to the goal line, they bring Clint in. And, his experience was, one of the questions was, well, what was Michigan like? And he said, that stepping, when you guys see us walking into on the end of the big house, that's about 3% of our week. Everything, the education, the work,
Well, that's like trying a case. You have to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So 90%, between 80 and 90% of the work when you're trying a case is all done beforehand. I've tried some securities fraud cases and different high-level healthcare fraud cases. It's a lot of work, and all the people see is the end, and it's a ton of work. And that's sports. I mean, you knew it at St. Agatha, all summer long. You're gearing for your first game and everything in preparation. People come to watch the final product, but they have no idea what the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into preparing.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend, Jake Sweeney. We'll talk about it in a few minutes. But yesterday we was talking, and we had mentioned, in January and February at the house, we had a small 1,200 square feet with 8 kids, mom and dad, Grandma Madden from Ireland. But I do remember getting in front of the mirror in January and February, and just like this, over and over, looking at your wind-up, the preparation and the thousands of push-ups and running the miles and things. It's really weird because Dan Sweeney from the University of Detroit was our head baseball coach.
Okay.
No relation to Jake. Great man. Played for Bob Miller at UD for years.
Right. Bob Miller was one of the whiz kids.
Yeah.
With the Phillies, yeah.
Bobby, his son, is a really close buddy.
I met him with you once, I think down at the parade one. Might have been this year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was there. He rode with us and Darren McCarty in the parade. That was fun. But, it's discipline,
It is, but isn't it a good life lesson? All that stuff you did at St. Agatha, you never really, you don't realize that those lessons are being imprinted on you. Mm-hmm. And it gave me the discipline to study in law school, to have a goal, studying for the bar. I gave it all I had, and I thought to myself, it's just like, if a football game, I'm going to leave it all on the field, and if I don't make it, well, I don't deserve to be a lawyer. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I treated the entire summer. But I've done that a lot of times in my life. It all comes back to Freddie Mashinsky at Borges yelling at me for different things. And, I don't know, was it Jim Murphy who was your coach at St. Agatha at the time?
Yeah, Jim Murphy was the athletic director. We had Mike Benane.
Okay.
Benedict. And
Ernie Flynn's old friend.
He was a state representative for District 1 in the state.
Right.
And we used to pass out flyers for Mike. He was a tough guy, man. You remember him?
I remember him as a state senator, and he was friends with a good friend of mine. They went to Agatha together.
Mike, what was your career like before Governor Snyder appointed you to the Michigan Court of Appeals?
I didn't think much about the law, that's for sure, back when in my younger days, and other than trying to avoid it. I knew one lawyer, a buddy of mine's dad in high school, so I didn't have a background to how the law worked or any judges or anything like that. A few guys on opposing teams were kids of judges, so didn't have a lot of experience. So I remember there was a neighbor back in Detroit who said, "You want to do something that you really enjoy?" And I thought, wow, I really liked high school. I wouldn't mind being a high school teacher. So that's what I did. And I student taught at Catholic Central, and for a man named Jim Eddy, a wonderful teacher, former Detroit police officer. And then I went over to my old high school, and Gene Gruey, who eventually became the track coach, became a teacher and coach at Catholic Central. They're going to be naming the new field events area after him. Hired me as a teacher at Bishop Borges. So I did that for a few years. But my brother worked at immigration, and we were talking beforehand. He's still with them. He started in '78, so it's a long time. He's still there. He's out in Boston now, but. I was able to get into U.S. immigration. He used to hire school teachers part-time, believe it or not, and to fill in. So I did that, and I was making more money there than I was teaching at a Catholic high school. So I eventually went full-time and went down to the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center and graduated from there. And it was going pretty well for me. And living at home, you know how it was back in those days, Ron. Your parents would never kick you out, so
Yeah.
my expenses were next to nothing. And I used to lose my checks. As a matter of fact, half the time I wasn't, I was at home. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll get a house. Immigration's going well, and I could have had some opportunities in other places. And then my mother said, no. If you're not going to go to the seminary, go to law school. So that was really the catalyst. And I took the LSAT, and I thought, okay, I'll go to law school. I'll be an FBI agent. And didn't turn out that way. I met a few people, believe it or not, crossing the border that gave me career guidance, unbelievable, when I was still working there. So I clerked for Judge Damasio in the Eastern District of Michigan. And then I went to the Securities and Exchange Commission, was an enforcement attorney there for a while. And
I was in Chicago, wasn't it?
In Chicago, yeah.
7 years or something you were there?
About 4.5 years. Then went to the Northwestern Mutual in Milwaukee, where I was securities counsel there, and came home to go to the U.S. Attorney's Office. So my father was a big proponent of, like a lot of Irish guys, of the civil service. If you get in with the civil service, you're set. So I came back, and I ended up with 26 years in with the federal government. And an opening came up on the Michigan Court of Appeals, and Governor Snyder was kind enough to appoint me, and it's a wonderful job. So I've been there 14 years, Ron, and it how time flies when you get older. It's really gone by fast.
Yeah, it's it does go by fast, but one of the things I think we really hit it off as friends right at that dinner or lunch we had over there in Livonia, was it Calisante's? Is it
Contoros? Wasn't
Cantero.
it? Yeah, was it at Contoros?
Yeah, no, like in Plymouth or something.
Yeah, it was on Haggerty Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was the Knights of Equity, and what a wonderful organization.
Oh man, we had a good group. That lunch was really special. We had Tom O'Brien, Mike Kelly. Who were some of the other? A couple other guys.
Pat O'Hara was there.
Pat O'Hara, yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, there was a great group of guys, and you know what? That dinner turned out really well. Did you make the dinner, the 100th anniversary?
We were in Florida.
Yeah. Well, the Knights of Equity have a long history with the Jesuits, and the history, I'm sure. They had that property, and I was fortunate enough to get a little bit of some help from them when I was in law school, and I'll never forget that. And it was basically because I was an Irish Catholic kid, and it helped out. Every bit helped out at the University of Detroit. So I really have in my heart. You look at John Kerry, Johnny Murrin, John,
all those guys,
Kevin Feely. I mean, all stand-up guys that they help the poor. They help at St. Christine's. They just do wonderful work. And the salt of the earth, Ron. And I could see why you would be active in an organization like that.
Oh, I appreciate that. That's a nice compliment. I really appreciate it. I mean, we're the same as far as being positive, upbeat, optimistic, enjoying life. Where does that come from for you? Is it the Catholic schools or a mom, a grandma? Where's that come from?
I don't know. I mean, God is good, isn't He?
Yeah, sure. No question. First.
Oh my goodness! All the gifts I've been given, and I look at what we're doing today.
Yeah,
we should be out digging ditches.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Darren McCarty was here sitting there, and he said, "Yeah." He said, I had an opportunity. I was young. He said, my dad's a mechanical contractor. I could be over in Windsor digging ditches all through the winter, trying to get through the ice and all that, and dirt and clay. And he said, I did that. He said, at 12, 13, I was a little guy. I had to get under the houses. And then Darren said, he says, when his dad sold the company or gave him the company the day his dad died, he was going to sell it. He said, I'd rather get punched in the head all day long. But he's a character.
Oh, he is. I've met him I met him with you, I think, again at the parade.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Ron, we've both been lucky. People have been so kind to me in my life, giving me so many breaks.
Yeah.
And I owe it to other people. Whatever I can do to help a kid out. I have a lot of interns coming through my office, and kids in the law, and it's really gratifying. Trying to give something back, trying to help out those people. And God, if it wasn't for others, from day one, you were St. Agatha Parish as well, correct? You went to St. Agatha grade school?
Yeah, both. Yeah,
Yeah, so
I
you
went
knew-
to CC for a year and ripped my knee up against Brother Rice, and I'm not going to come up with all the excuses, but that was a big mistake. Broke my parents' heart. Left there freshman year. They said, "You're going, you're going." I said, "Not going. I'm going to Redford Union then." St. Agatha was a block away. I knew that's where, but it was a tough. Leaving Catholic Central was that was a hard thing, and it was hard to go against your mom and dad who were paying all that money and wanted you to be there. My brother Bob was class of 70 there, oldest brother.
Yeah, my brother was class of 73 at Catholic Central, and that's where I was going. And I was one of the few guys from my class that was going there. And the registration was during the middle of the week. And my older brother went to the University of Detroit College, and he had the car. So we had, like your house, one car.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother and I didn't take the bus there. We were waiting for him to get home to drive us there. And by the time we got there, the office was closed. So I didn't register. I came home that night. My dad said, how to go at Catholic Central. I said, oh, the office is closed, so didn't register. I don't know if I'll be able to get in there. I guess mom's going to call him, or, you had the one phone at the house. They didn't have any emails or those things. And he said, you should think about Bishop Borges, because it'll be safer hitchhiking out or coming home down Plymouth Road out in Redford.
Telegraph Road versus
down on Greenfield and walking down there. And he said, maybe you should think about that. And he goes, with the gas company, I think they went through their checking services or something. And he said, when I was there, they were doing a lot of weightlifting. And they had cement cans. They were really going at it. He goes, that's got to be, it's a good school if they're doing that kind of stuff. So Ron, academics really didn't have much at play.
No, yeah. Well, it's funny, the Catholic Central part, I've always kind of, every chance I get to plug CC. I love the school.
Oh, it's a great school.
The people there are amazing. 60 alumni on their staff. They're coaching. The principal now, Mitch Hancock, is obviously a graduate and won 5, 6, 7 state championships as a wrestling coach.
Yeah.
But Justin Sasante, Rogowski's, all those guys. The baseball team, that's Rogowski's.
Wonderful school. I have a lot of friends from Catholic Central. We played against each other, and we're good friends. My student taught there. I had a wonderful experience. The teachers there couldn't have been nicer. Tom Mack was a nice guy. Frank Garlicki. I mean, these guys. Jim Eddy was phenomenal. He ended up being the disciplinarian. He retired down to Tennessee. Tony Magni. Who he's an Italian guy. My wife keeps saying, well, we got to make you a U.S. citizen. He never follows through with the paperwork, but I was just invited to his birthday party. I'm not sure what year, maybe 80th birthday. A good friend of mine lives next door to his nephew, and I ran into the nephew. He goes, well, you got to come to his party. It's him and his sister. I mean, they were just phenomenal teachers. They're just good people. And a lot of my teachers from Bishop Borges ended up out there. Gene Gruey was there. Miss Ritzman, Amy Nanny was there. A number of teachers, just top notch. The kids that come from there, I've taught down at U of D Law School now for about 26, 27 years, and it's always a pleasure having a CC kid. They know how to study, and they're always ahead of the curve, and they're just good people. And I've had a number of them intern for me, and just top notch. And they're fun to go watching sports. Fun to go watch them play football. They're not dirty. They play hard. They play hockey. And Frank's son, he wasn't playing when I was out at the baseball games last year. He was hurt 2 years ago, and good in baseball. Just top notch, whatever they do. And I know a lot of those alums working in the office there. Tim Burke, Dan Collins.
I saw Dan Collins on Tuesday. Yeah, he's good man. And I did want to say this one too. I always kind of forget, but. Aaron Babbitts has been athletic director. He's a young guy, and he's been there for almost 20 years, I believe. And Aaron is, he doesn't get enough credit. That guy pulls it together. I mean, the whole coaches he's brought back, and they teach me goodness, discipline, and knowledge. We have a grandson that's going there. He's a 7th grader. He'll be going, and he's got to maintain a 3.7.
Yeah.
He's a He's a killer lacrosse player. He flies all over the country. They rate him. He's rated in the top 5 Fogo guys in the whole country. But
Takes after his grandfather, huh?
Grandpa, I didn't even know what Fogo meant. It's face-off guy off the field.
I don't know what it means, but it must be good.
He's you know what, they make him earn it. He went to San Diego and had to earn $6,000 one summer.
Wow.
He earned it.
Probably the hand-eye coordination. You know,
he goes in the basement, will throw 1,000 off the wall. 1,000, and he's always making the effort. Yeah. Loves the game. So
isn't that life though? You got to make the effort.
Yeah.
And you got to be thankful. I mean,
well, Aaron Babbitt's over there. He does want him to have a couple of sports. This grandson plays football too. He's a center. But not just about all those great young men they have there. But Aaron's, I love that about him. He says, we don't want you just playing one sport. Do something more than.
Well, that's a great philosophy to have, and I'll say this. My high school's gone like yours is, and it's sad.
Yeah.
I still a lot of friends from there and keep in touch with a lot of people. But it's nice the way Catholic Central treats alums from other schools. I'm a member of the Shamrock Bar Association. I think I've been out to speak there a couple of times, and I'm just happy that I'm able to go there and the fellow attorneys, a lot of CC guys, all top notch, and I refer a lot of my friends and family to CC grads who are attorneys. And, Denny Barnes is a former state bar president, great friend of mine, and he was on the board at Catholic Central. Just a real, just top to bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I read in one article, I did look at some of the articles you sent over to me, which I thank you for doing that, Mike. It was about 1:30.
The favorable ones or the unfavorable ones?
Most weren't favorable. But it was about 1:32 in the morning when I was done. That's like that. I got to have a gun to my head to finish these things, to be prepared, though. And it's just everybody works different. And one of them, there was a comment from you. It said, tell me if I got this right. Something to the effect that you're not impressed with loud, overly aggressive attorneys. You're looking for the effort put into the words. The words are important to you, and the proper argument, the debate. Is that correct?
That is. I'm on the Court of Appeals, and I sit on a panel of 3, and so we're not, trial court judges. We're more on the academic side of things. Okay, let's take a look at the law. What happened in the lower level? What happened? What's the record? What's the trial court record? We want to get it right. We want to follow the law, and that's what we expect advocates to come in and be prepared to talk about. Ron, I spent all my time. It's hard to believe I never thought I could do this, but I spent a lot of my time at a desk, reading and writing. And I remember the first summer I did that, I wanted to jump out the window. I thought I could never do it, but the lawyers are there to help us frame the issues, and that's what we look for. And never who it is, and how loud they are. It's probably like you're not impressed by that kind of stuff. Show me some substance. And that's the name of the game.
No question. So today you do still teach at U of D. You hit on that a few minutes ago. My good buddy, classmate, Michelle and I's classmate, class of 75 from St. Agatha, Dr. Timothy Kaczynski. A bit different. He's in the dental. He's a real pain-free dentist, maybe and probably the top implant dentist in the United States. He teaches thousands of dentists over the years, flying. He's out of the state 45 or 40 weekends out of the year teaching. And he's again, implant specialist. So you're going to go see him, I think.
Well, my dentist is Dr. Burkowski, who Dr. Kaczynski would know. Dr. Burkowski has been a teacher down at the dental school for probably 50 years, a long time, and he's retiring.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to find a new dentist. And if you're endorsing Dr. Tim Kaczynski, is that
Kaczynski?
Kaczynski, he's my man.
Yeah. Since I've had 12 implants, cost me a lot. He always says, Ron, you get the St. Agatha discount, classmate discount. I said, where, Tim? When? I've sent my wife, Michelle, She goes to Tim. At least 5 or 6 family members, couple brothers, my kids go to him. My Jeremy married an Armenian girl. She's awesome, Maggie Ornazian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Her dad is Greg, and he's on the board at the Dream Cruise. And Greg's a linebacker from Maryland. He fits with us.
Wow.
She fits with us. Maggie's the sweetest girl on the planet. I love Maggie. She comes in and she's just she's awesome. But she's also a Tim Kaczynski. And again,
Well, you're going to have to get me in. I mean, it's. But Dr. Burkowski's been wonderful. His predecessor was Dr. Roman, who also taught down at the dental school. So I've always in Dearborn, but I'm willing to take the drive out here to Brighton.
You know, you will never meet a nicer guy than Tim Kaczynski. Ever.
Well, Ron, if he's a friend of yours, I know he's a nice guy.
I appreciate it. I'll just tell you, he does all the priests. Now, there aren't many, but over the years, Frank Murphy will tell you, at CC, he took care of the priests.
I'm sure they got a better discount than you.
You ever heard of a 5-finger discount? No. No, but he also he does old Red Wings. He does a lot of Red Wings. His next door neighbor was Lindstrom and Novi.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
Nicholas Lindstrom. So without getting too personal, you know every show we do, you already know this is for veterans, charities, and foundations. It's no secret. I love that about this. It's the most important part of this, what we're doing today. And what's nearest and dearest to your heart?
Nearest and dearest to my heart?
Yeah.
You know, I'm thankful to God, and I try to live the faith, and I would have to say that's got to be the most important thing in anyone's life is their faith, and you know, you're helping a lot of young attorneys, right? I mean, you go out, and I love the law. You know, I really lucked out. I remember when I was going to law school, I was getting a lot of advice from different people. I could have gone up to Toronto to pre-fight inspection. That's another story. But I decided to roll the dice and go. And you know, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and it's the best thing I could have done. And going to U of D Law, you know, my mother encouraged me to go to law school, and I thought about transferring after the first year because I scored pretty well. I thought, well, Notre Dame would be a great place. My mother said, no, you're doing well there, just stay. So I did. I met my wife, and now I got 3 kids. So, you know, the most important thing, I mean, look around, all of this is because of God's good graces. And we were born into good families, and I'm lucky enough to have a good family. You know, you're always worried, as my father used to say, small kids, small problems, big kids, big problems. So you're constantly worrying about those kind of things. But I'm thankful. I can't tell you how thankful I am for everything. I couldn't ask for anything more. And, I guess what am I most thankful for? I'm thankful for the Lord and Him, you know, the Mass, the Catholic Church, the priests I've known, the nuns. That's what I'm most thankful for.
Yeah, that's great. I guess I'd be the same way. One thing I like about the Catholic Church is whatever state, whatever city, wherever you are, whether we're at Houghton Lake or Naples or Brighton, there's a place to go. And I'll say on May 28th of this year, it'll be 3 years sober, and which is a few days away. 3 years with no alcohol, and that was pretty cool. That's really a cool thing to. Every one of those places has AA meetings wherever we go. So,
well, you sent me pictures from a church. Was it St. Anthony's or a church that you were at recently? Someplace up north.
St. James, maybe?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Or St. Augustine.
St. Augustine.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's up on the hill.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's got graveyards going right up to it. It's like Little House on the Prairie, cornfield across the street. Steeple.
It was like out of a storybook. But
you got to come down. Come when 10:30 Mass.
Well, you got to come up to Drummond Island where you see Florence. But I'll tell you, the other thing, we're very lucky around there. We're Irish, and I once heard an old Palatine father say God's greatest gift to the Irish was to make them poor, because look at what we've been able to do coming over here. Your forefathers from up near Belfast, what'd they have? My parents, nothing, but they helped each other out, and look at the gifts they gave us. So we're lucky for that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did we, like the bottle a little bit? Well, it's part of the culture, I think. We're, and I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Brooklyn.
No, I don't think so.
There's a scene in there that's heart wrenching. Of Christmas, where the church is taking care of all the single Irish guys, and it's but we're lucky, and they're hard workers, they're good people, they're loyal, and I've never known an Irish guy to turn down another Irish guy if they needed a hand.
Well, I did have one guy call me back. He lives in Hart. He was listening to one of our shows we did here, and it was with Jason Tracy. He's done about 300 shows here. Now he's out on his own. He's got Coffee and Grits.
Okay.
We interviewed Home and Away. I did interviewed him. He interviewed me. And I got long-winded into the alcohol story. And he said he was working on some wood, and he had the headphones on, listening to us talk. And he said tears were running down his eyes. He said, I stopped drinking. And it's that old thing people say, if you help one person, you did pretty good with that. But I'll say this about alcohol. It's oversold. It's declining. The young kids aren't doing it. They do whatever they do. But the thing about it is, you don't need it. I go into weddings and I order a Shirley Temple in a tall glass with a lot of ice. So what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares if I'm not drinking or not. I can still be nutty as I was when I was drinking. I just feel good in the morning when I wake up.
I will say this. It would have been fun back in our drinking days if we did run into each other.
I've heard that from Louie Lee and a couple guys we've had on here, and I'm sure of that. But, we can still have fun, right?
We can still have fun. I just, I never had the experiences you did, but what got me was being hungover. Mm-hmm. And I'd have to go to work the next day or do something. I just didn't want to have to deal with those kind of things anymore. It just didn't do much for me. And I'd rather, like you, have a water or a Diet Coke or a Diet Pepsi and get on with things. And no one ever. It's like smoking cigarettes. I don't see the redeeming value in it.
Yeah. There's something that there's no redeeming value in life for sure.
And, I guess, it's good that young kids aren't doing it anymore because, as well, you probably had the same experience of guys you went to high school with getting killed in car accidents. And there's a good friend of mine, Jim Griffin. He was killed when he was 21, and his parents were from, his mother was a Riordan from Kerry, and his dad was from Dingle, Griffin. And he got killed by a drunk driver. And one of the saddest times of life when you see a young guy like that happening. Thank God we don't hear about that as much anymore.
No, we really don't. It's the younger people. I think, like I said, I think the sales are down 15-20%. Let me ask you a question, Mike. Is there anything really on your mind you'd like to discuss right now? Is there anything as far as what's happening in the world? What's going on in your world? Is there anything?
Well, I got about a 5.5 hour drive in traffic up to Drummond Island. You got an airplane? You can loan me.
Well, that's not going to make. Oh, give me a break.
In terms of geopolitical issues, of course, we'd all want peace, and we'd all want to get along. And it all comes back to how we treat each other. Yeah. And it's a very basic thing. And Ireland is it's things are happening there that could have never imagined. I could have never imagined.
That's a little scary right now. Yeah. That could be a civil war real soon. And the Brits always have their. Can I say this? The Brits always seem to be creating more problems than they're helping. That seems to be a history there. I don't care if people like it or don't like it. That's the way I see it. We've got family there. The British have always been a pain in the ass to the Irish.
Well, your family's up in the north, so they're dealing with him a lot more.
I've got our Uncle Oliver in my drinking days, and a lot of Jack Daniels when they invited us over, and lots, and talking with him. He had a canary yellow suit on. He passed away. Oliver Madden. He used to doing those motorcycle races.
Wow.
Madman. He said, Ronnie, come on over and feel my shoulder. And we're at the bar, and I put my hand in there, and there's this big gash, a huge gash out of his shoulder. I said, what the hell is that, Oliver? What's wrong with you? He says, well, I was running from the police, and I went through a cornfield. I was running my car, and they shot through the back window and blew my shoulder out. Yeah.
That's awful. Oliver's a wonderful Irish name.
Yeah.
You know who our patron saint is for the Knights of Equity, don't you?
No.
St. Oliver Plunkett.
Oh.
That's our motto, St. Oliver Plunkett, guide and protect us.
I didn't know that.
I think he was a martyr for the faith.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's good to know. Like I say to my wife, I like to do things. I like the artist. I start the picture, and then when I go, she usually finishes it.
Well, you have a wonderful wife. I've met her.
Oh, Michelle's cool.
Yeah.
She's got a spot in heaven for sure. Electric cars, AI, data centers, solar farms, drones, robots, cell phones. It's almost too much to comprehend.
The emails we get every day, just the loads of emails.
Junk. Thank God it goes to junk.
Oh my God, the Tigers send out, if you got the Major League Baseball app, forget it.
We had season tickets 2 years ago. I know what you're saying.
Unbelievable. But AI is a huge thing. And I took a course on AI for lawyers through the University of California, Berkeley recently. It was an online course. And the potential for damage with AI is something else. And we're starting to see it in the law now, where there's people are giving their briefs to AI or giving their issues to AI, and they're phantom cases, they're ghost cases.
Oh,
that
we got caught by AI a few times. We were going to put out. Aiden Hutchison gave $5 million to his poor and homeless and building this thing in Plymouth, Michigan. So I'm on with the Mellow Men, Glenn Dowdy, Touchdown Billy Taylor, and all these guys, Reggie McKenzie.
I think we told you.
Tom Darden.
Mike Taylor and Mike Taylor's dad, my dad,
they worked together.
They were on the street department at the gas company. Clarence Taylor was his name.
Yeah. I remember you mentioned that. But, it's... I think, even talking to those guys, it's a lot to comprehend and try to stay on top of all these changes.
Could you imagine any of this stuff growing up, just having a cell phone?
Well, Mike, that was kind of my point was we inserted that thing about Hutchison. I got a little off track, but we inserted that about Hutchison in the show. And then, we looked at it later and we realized it wasn't true. Hutchison didn't donate a penny, and we wasted time. Luckily, that's the beauty of podcasts. We edit.
Well, you have a great staff here.
Yeah.
But I will say this.
Tori's awesome.
I will say this about Aiden Hutchinson. He went to grade school with my kids, and he was always a gentleman as a young boy. And I've only run into him a couple times over the years since then. But he's a very nice kid, and he's a heck of a football player. On top of that, yeah. They
built a whole defense around him. Mike, for our Jessfor30, we will continue, and we've had, and we will continue to have great guests, just like you. And to mention a few, I just want to hit this for a second. Justice Asante, CC football coach. Mama Shu, the next mayor, we're helping her. She's going to be Highland Park's next mayor, guaranteed. Darren McCarty, Peter Dante, quarterback and Waterboy, Adam Sandler's buddy, Lance Parrish, Mark Messner, legend, Hall of Fame, College Hall of Fame, 4-time All-American. Who does that at Michigan in football? Upcoming guests in the next 30 days are going to be Congressman John James, U of M football legend, and your friend and mine, Jake Sweeney.
Oh, wonderful person.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
We have his book here. Oh, thank you.
The pride of Alma, Michigan.
This guy.
His dad was a football coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm getting to know a lot about Jake.
I'm humbled. You're listing off all these people, and you must have had a lot of dead air time to kill when you invited me out here. This is something else. I've watched your show, and every one of those. I mean, Justin Sassante, what a nice kid.
Oh.
You know, he used to have what do they call it out in on Hines Drive in Warren Avenue, Detroit. Hype. He used to work there. So my kids, Our Lady of Good Counsel, used to use the basketball courts because we didn't have a full-size gym. And Justin arranged for us to use the court there.
Did he?
Yeah, and we had a very good basketball team. And I still say if we would have had a home court where we could actually practice, we could have made a run to win the CYO. And you remember how big of a deal that kind of stuff was.
Oh, it was fun.
But it was just a top-notch person.
Joe Charnley was involved in that. You know the Charnley family.
Oh,
I'm sure.
yeah.
Joe,
yeah.
He was the head of the CYO.
Wonderful guy. Joe, his wife Kathy worked out at Ladywood.
Yeah.
My kids would forget their lunches, my daughters. So I got to know Kathy very well. I'd have to stop there and bring them lunch.
I got kicked off Joe Charnley's baseball team.
He was an Agatha guy.
Yeah, he was on my JV basketball team. We were out in Ann Arbor. Well, it was my birthday, so we got a 12-pack of beer. Well, the two captains, Denny Rourke and I, we drank the 12-pack while the varsity was playing. We had nothing to do. We didn't need to go watch them. Get back, Jim Murphy, the AD, calls me. Ron, come into the office. You're the captain on the team. We just heard that you were drinking beer, in the shower after your game. And I said, well, it's my birthday, Mr. Murphy. I was 16, maybe 17, 16. And so I said, and he looked so disappointed. He was so, he said, this hurts. And it was my third sport. I like baseball, football, and just for fun played basketball. So he calls Rourke and he says, Dennis, we heard you and Ron Jess were drinking beers in the shower between games. Then he goes, not me. I'm kicked off the team for being honest. He stayed the captain for lying, Well,
at least you didn't run him in. You're a good man.
No. We wouldn't do that.
Well, you were a great coach at St. Agatha, too, because I'm good friends with the Nitels. They live kitty corner, and they were good friends with Joe Charnley. And I know Jimmy Nitel is the police chief out in Plymouth. What a wonderful guy. And then there's Mo Nitel. She went to, or Mo Burke. She went to, Ladywood. Her and her sister went to Ladywood.
And their son's a Farmington cop now, isn't he, Burke?
Yeah. Bill Burke and Mo Burke's son, he's a Farmington Hills, just like his uncle was.
I tried to use him to get Aiden Hutchison because they played football together.
Yeah, Aiden was a year ahead of him.
Oh, okay.
Aiden was in my daughter's class.
That didn't work.
But Patrick Burke is a stand-up person, and I saw a film clip of him playing cricket with a bunch of Indians, real Indians from India, out in Farmington. Mm-hmm. He was out on patrol one night, and these guys were playing in the parking lot of some temple, a Sikh temple or something. And he got out of the car. He's playing with them. He's a good athlete.
I've never met him.
Oh, yeah. Do you know Mo's husband, Bill?
No.
Yeah, he was. I think it was a plumber up at U of M, and Mo was on the police department up at U of M, and they just a wonderful family.
Yeah, we sure meet a lot, don't we, Mike?
Oh.
You're one of the best. How would you like to be remembered?
I don't know. I haven't given it much thought,
It's your turn. Go ahead.
Well, depending on how this turns out, maybe this will be how I'm remembered. So it'll be me and you, Ron, my family legacy.
It could be worse, okay?
It could be a lot worse.
We did this with my mom and dad years before I started these. I just set it up on the kitchen table. I said 18 questions for Dad, Navy guy, great coach, fantastic. Hit by a kamikaze in World War II.
Wow.
Michelle's dad was a colonel, but I set the table. He was across. He's sitting over there, and I'm sitting there. I put that, those huge cameras, set that up and put on, okay, Dad. So I asked him about 3 or 4 questions. He answered them in 2 minutes. I turned the camera off. I said, Dad, we're going to be done with this in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Would you please expound? Okay, Ron, sure. Put it back on. We did an hour. So we put his on at his funeral at Step Funeral Home on the wall.
Oh, sure, on Beach Daily there.
And when my mom died, we did the same thing.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And then we made copies for the 8 kids. Michelle and I shipped them off or handed them to them. But
what great foresight.
I don't know where that came from, but.
I look back at my house, and my dad would be singing rebel tunes in the morning. I could hear him on the front porch, when he was retired,
really?
Still living at home. And then a good friend of mine, Sean Fitzgerald, whose parents were from Carsavine, or his mother was from Carsavine, met him coming out of Good Counsel at Mass. My dad was with me one time, and I told him, Sean's from Carsavine, and Sean told him the exact spot. And there was some IRA man that was killed there one time, and they had a tune about him. And so my dad sang the tune for Sean, and Sean looked at me and goes, "You got to record all this stuff." And I said, "I know," but we never did. And the stories of my mother and being back in Ireland with my uncles, the story of, back in Rossmore and all the people that were there, and people getting, the quicksand or, being down in the ocean, being just the fascinating stories. And they're all gone now.
That was a real motivating factor. And I'd say anybody who's got an older parent, do that. Just go and sit and have 10 questions or 20 questions, and because I can go home and watch my mom and dad talk.
That's a beautiful thing. I remember when the kids were young, I had one of those video cameras, and I would take videos of my parents and my uncle, Father Dennis, and when they were over. And I haven't gone back to look at them. I have to go back and look at them because. Looking back, Ron, doesn't life fly by so fast?
Yeah, like the years are like months, aren't they? Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, they are.
We're on the downside now, and people are talking retirement, and people are retired. And I'm thinking, what's going to be my next job? I got to find something meaningful, or some labor, and here it is, and
that's
supposed to be retiring.
That's why I did this. We had friends at the Chrysler Proving Ground. I'm in the manufacturer business, automotive. Saw a guy who was going to hunt, fish, be a grandkid, boop, doop, doop, everything on Monday. Friday he retired. He was dead before Monday.
Yeah.
That was a big part of doing these podcasts.
Well,
because something to do.
You're right on track. And you're doing a service. I've watched your podcasts, and they're very interesting. You could be nationally syndicated.
Stop it.
And I'm not saying that, you can leave this in. It's entertaining, the people you bring on here and the human interest.
Thank you very much. I kind of wanted part of that too was for the kids and grandkids. The kids don't care. My son Jeremy, after about 5 or 6 of them, he said, "Dad, you pay $500 every time you do those. Nobody watches them. They're boring. Why are you doing it?"
That's not true.
Well, here's what's happened. Within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we had Darren McCarty and Lance Parrish. Jeremy sees those. He says, "Hey, keep doing those, Dad."
Well, you're giving me a gift. I feel like I should be paying you $500.
Oh.
So you're giving something, and Tori's going to send me the link, and I'll share it with my children. And this is something hopefully they'll treasure. And thank you very much, Ron.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Mike.
you for your friendship.
Yeah.
And we got many years to go, I hope.
Yeah, let's hope for so. And before we shake hands and say goodbye, we have one last thing to do. Tori knows it's pickle time. Ron Jess back here, and we've had Frank Murphy join us. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've been sitting outside watching the whole time. It's interesting to see 2 good friends of mine interact like this and share stories.
Oh, it's fun, and couldn't get a better guy than this for sure. I don't know. He's the only judge I know, and he'll be judging this tonight, going, "Why did I waste my time going to Brighton?" Hey, Jess, pickles. I gotta warn you, they're from August 17th to 25. Garlic dill, no preservatives, no colors, the real thing. Go ahead.
Do you want to open it, or you want me to open it?
Go ahead.
All right. Ron, this is the part of the program I've been looking forward to. I've seen you do
Pickle
this before.
time,
I love pickles.
Yeah. Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We got some from Schrodix. Is that on Gratiot or?
It's over in Hamtramck, isn't it?
It's in home. Yeah, I had some last week. We're going to add something this year. We do 220 of them, Frank. and 220 pints. This year we're going to have about 30 of them with crushed red peppers in them. That's what Schrodix had.
Is that going to make them give them a little more kick?
No, it's hot. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
take one.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
All right.
That way you know I'm not poisoning you guys.
Well, I'm going to have to take one for myself here.
No, there you go.
All right. Should I give it a go?
Yeah. Cheers.
All right, here we go. Yeah. Cheers.
You ready?
Cheers. Fantastic.
That's a great pickle, yeah.
My goodness, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
If you manufacture these things, they go places.
You know, we checked.
Plastic's got nothing on you, brother.
We checked with a bunch of them, and it's not worth it. Honestly, my son checked at Velasquez, or there's one in Detroit too. McClure's. No, I'm good.
Right.
McClure's. You got to order like 50,000 of them.
That's not quite your production capacity, Ron?
Not yet.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Not really good.
Man, these are really good.
Mm-hmm.
These are quality. Now, do I get to keep some of these? Or?
Yeah, those are yours. I'll get you some too, Frank.
Yeah,
Frank,
sure.
What would you like to? Any comments? You know, I know you got a great Catholic Central relationship, and your son.
I sit and listen to you guys talk about all these guys that I consider my brothers. You know, Dan Collins, Tim Burke, Justin Sasante, Aaron Babbitts, Ed Turek. I know all these guys. I went to school in and around all those guys within a year or two. Known them forever. I spent a lot of time at the school. Proud alum, class of 1983. Sent 2 sons of mine, both there as well, and they're both doing well now. Largely, I think, as a result of their education at CC. One of them's finishing up his senior year at Michigan State with his degree in economics, and my other son is at Kalamazoo College just finishing up his freshman year, and he's playing baseball there.
That's an expensive little school over there, isn't it?
It's if you were to Google what the price tag is, it's a lot, but it's great when you have a kid coming out of Catholic Central with a 4.1 GPA, and then the academic money that becomes available to you scholarship-wise to go to a school like that makes it a lot more affordable, and he's having a ball with it.
Well, we'd like to get out and see him pitch a little. I know he's a great athlete and he's doing well.
Yeah, thank you. He loves the game, and he loves what he's doing.
That's awesome. I think, guys, we're 14 minutes and 53 seconds overtime. So
Oh, my goodness.
you're going to get billed on this, Judge.
That's all right. Well, I just want to say Frank comes from a very renowned Irish family. You talked about the British. His grandfather gave it his all back in the time of the Troubles, and spent time as a guest of the Crown in the old country.
The Gray Bar Hotel.
Did that hurt your feelings? My feelings on the relationship?
The guest, he was in prison as an IRA man.
Oh.
And he was he and Charlie Shea came all the way from Glenbeg. Charlie's family was right near the church in the village. Frank's grandfather's name is Riordan, like mine, was up the road at the Mountain Stage, and I have a cousin that lives right near him, right behind him now. But we were up the road from them, and they came into Detroit. Belle Isle was where they landed. Frank, I know you may have Frank on your show. He can tell the story better than me, but his grandfather did a lot of great things in the fight for independence back there. And when he came here, I think he qualified for an IRA pension.
Nice.
Which was a badge of honor. A lot of good guys from County Kerry came here, and
well, we're gonna
your father, your grandfather.
We're definitely gonna get together, and one of the favorite movies from my own. Do you guys ever watch the Danny Green story, To Kill an Irishman? You ever see that? I love that. I love
I've
that
seen
story.
that.
But Cleveland Shipyards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that. You know what? It's a great Irish movie that you might want to take a look at. That you'll enjoy. It really captures the essence of an Irish guy. I'm trying to think of his name. Richard. He's an Irish actor, but it's called The Field. Richard Harris.
Oh, check it out.
And it's something else. Just the value of having your own plot of land. And his family kind of fell apart a little bit, but it really captures the essence of being an Irishman and what it means to come here.
Yeah.
And we have our own plots of land, you out in Novi, and me in Plymouth and Ron in Brighton.
Yeah, I just feel with my Irish heritage that Mike talks about, and the history and the culture that we grew up with, You know, there's a saying that we're standing on the shoulders of giants, right? And you talked to Mike earlier about how do you want to be remembered? Well, you know, we sit here and we talk about all those folks that came before us. You're talking about my grandfather. We talked about your dad. My hope is that someday they're talking about us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My hope is when I die that people say, hey, he had Judge Riordan on and, you know, my man over here, Frank Murphy. And but anyway, we got to wrap it up.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you
too.
very
I
much.
appreciate
God
it.
bless.
You
Yeah.
too.
It's-
Thanks a lot. Frank. Yes.